Hey guys, Ambrose here today. As you know, hydrangeas are probably our greatest obsession. We absolutely love hydrangeas. We have different types of hydrangeas, from macrophyllus to paniculatas. We even have a mountain hydrangea, the lace cap variety as well. But today we're excited because we have a Oakleaf Hydrangea, better known as a Hydrangea corsifolia. That is translated into oak leaf. So we want to thank Proven Winners for sending this one out today. This one is a Gatsby Moon hydrangea. It is an oak leaf. It performs in zones 5 through 9. The greatest thing about this hydrangea right here, it gives all your interest. During the fall, it's going to have a nice red wine color to the leaves. It absolutely looks amazing. The blooms on this are like panicle hydrangeas. It's a double floret, cone shape. It looks absolutely stunning, nice and white, a creamy white, and then it starts to turn into a green kind of color towards the end of summer. So we're excited to get this one in a container by itself. We have here a terracotta container that is faced with like a concrete on it. So I think it's going to absolutely look stunning in here. We're going to either have it in the patio or somewhere when we move, see where we put that. Now this one does well in sun to part shade. Specifically, we're going to try to keep this in some morning sun and then shady afternoon so it performs its best. And then as it grows, we'll probably put it out there. Now with the Oakleaf hydrangeas, with this Gatsby Moon hydrangea, the pruning with this thing, just like I've stated before, we had a couple videos out on pruning. With this one, you want to wait for it to bloom, and what you want to do is you want to prune the blooms, not prune any of the stems. This does grow on old wood, so you don't want to cut off any of the stems when you prune. That way you have buds for next year, and it comes back nice and beautiful, and it has thicker stems, and it performs just as good as it did the year prior. So what we're going to do here is we're going to get this guy in the container here. So what we've done here is we've already filled this container with actually what we did was we put a coffee filter at the bottom. If you don't know that trick yet, use a coffee filter at the bottom. It prevents any of that dirty rusted color from spilling out into your porch or wherever you're going to have it at. Us specifically, we're going to have it in the patio for now just because we're moving, and it's going to do well with this bright light area, but we don't want that staining to stain the concrete floor. So what we did is we put the coffee filter, and then what I did, I put about 1 inch to 2 inches of pine bark mulch to help it drain. That way it just doesn't sit in water, and it kind of absorbs some of the water at the bottom. The thing with hydrangeas is they absolutely love water, but they don't like to sit in water. Now this one can do well in some drought areas, but we don't want to create any drought for it. We want it to perform its best. So again, we use the mulch in there so it drains properly, but it also retains some of that moisture. So when it needs some of that moisture, it's going to get some of that moisture into the roots and help it perform a little bit better. So again, like I said, we put the mulch in here, we put the coffee filter in there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add some soil to this guy. And so we're using just regular potting soil. It's an organic potting soil that has a lot of good nutrients in it. You can smell it. You can definitely tell it's a good nutrient rich soil. So we're going to fill this up almost to the top. This is a 4-inch container, so we're going to fill it almost up to the top so we can get enough soil in there to move around and stuff like that. But what I want to do is, so about right there, oh, I made a mess there. So about 3/4 of the way, what I'm going to do is I'm adding some of this biotone starter. Now what biotone starter does, it has a mycorrhiza in it, so what that helps, it helps feed the roots. The mycorrhiza attaches itself to the roots and helps the roots actually absorb. And then what I'm also going to add is I'm going to add a bag of this hollytone. It's about a cup of hollytone. I don't want to overdo it. It's kind of late to fertilize the hydrangeas, but because this is going to be transplanted in a bigger container, I want to add some type of fertilizer to get it some of the nutrients that it needs. And what you want to do is use an organic fertilizer, so that way towards the end of the season, it's not going to take up as much, but what the fertilizer does, an organic fertilizer, what it does, it feeds the soil, it feeds the microbes in there, and that way when it comes into fall and it starts to shut down, it still has some of those basic nutrients that it actually needs. So we're going to put about a cup of the hollytone, like I said, and hollytone is also for acid plants. Hydrangeas do love acidity, so we're going to add that in there as well. And then with that, I'm just going to fill up the rest with soil. Alright guys, so I got so excited to plant this hydrangea that I completely forgot that the AC was on. Didn't want to turn that off. The rest of the family's inside. It's pretty hot out here today, so if you hear that, please excuse the noise. But just to continue, so we're going to get this hydrangea here. Like I was saying before, so these guys absolutely love water. We're not going to plant this guy all the way down. We're going to leave the crown just a little bit on top of the soil so it doesn't sit in water. We're just going to compact the soil right around it there. Alright, now this guy can grow about 6 to 8 feet tall in the landscape, in the ground. Being that it's going to be in a container, it'll probably go maybe about 4 feet to about 4 feet wide. But we can get that in the landscape later in the future once we, you know, down the line move into the new home and see if we want to put it in the ground. But more than likely, I want to keep this guy in a container. I want it to absolutely show off by itself and see what it's going to do and how it's going to perform. But again, I absolutely love this hydrangea. I love the oak leaf on it. It's something we've been wanting for some time, and we finally got one. But you know, I'm just excited to see how this guy grows. Excited to see what it's going to look like, especially in the fall when it has that red wine color to the leaves. The new growth is going to be like a yellowish chartreuse color, and then, you know, in the late spring to midsummer, it's going to have this nice bright green foliage to it as well. So just an all year round interest hydrangea. Absolutely love it. Absolutely enjoying the way it's going to look, and you know, just in this container, I think it absolutely looks amazing. So the last thing we're going to do here is we're going to add some mulch to the top layer, just to get it to retain some of that moisture, and so when we water it, that dirt doesn't fly up and get on the leaves and cause any, you know, water damage and stuff like that, and the sun comes out and cooks it. But again, like I said, we're going to give it some morning sun and then some afternoon shade so it performs its best. Alright guys, so that's it. We got our hydrangea in this container. We got the mulch in there as well. Absolutely loving, again, like I said, the way it looks. For more tips and information on hydrangeas, please go check out some of our other videos on the hydrangea pruning and fertilizing. I guarantee you, you're going to learn something there. A lot of people have had questions on the hydrangeas and stuff like that, and we're always happy to answer those. Please leave comments down below. So that's pretty much it, guys. We're loving this. We're going to get this put somewhere we want it, get it watered in so it has a good amount of water. And hopefully this guy shows off some of his blooms. And if you're interested in seeing what it looks like, you can check us out on Instagram and Facebook. We're constantly posting there. Angie's posting at least 3 times a day on Instagram and Facebook. We put a lot of our videos on Instagram and Facebook as well, so you can go and check them out. But again, if you haven't given this video a like, please hit that like button. It helps us get our videos out there. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe as well. We would love to hear from you guys. We love to share comments and interact with you guys. But again, that's going to do it for this video, guys. We hope you enjoyed it, and we can't wait to get this guy growing and perform his big, beautiful blooms in the garden.